All right, dude, let's cut this thing up. Um, First things first, your arms. All right. Watch, like, even right there. These are giant noodle strings. So notice how much movement there is there. Tons and tons of swing side to side. See that? By your arms, just your arms. Huge from here all the way out to here. All right. So the only problem with that, all right, it creates power, but what it isn't doing is it allowing you to move your hands quickly. The faster you move your hands, the faster you're going to force your feet to move. And for you as a bigger player, you need every advantage you can to get those feet moving quickly. So you need to get these arms, like we've talked about. This should be in here. Your elbow should be there, and your hand should be going that way in front of you. This should be a 90 degree going this way, just like a runner. Imagine you're a runner on the ice with your arms at 90 degrees and they're moving at a 45-degree angle to where you're skating. That's what it should look like, not this giant long thing. There's a bunch of reasons behind that. You can ask me, we can go over it, but just for time's sake and for your sanity, so this video isn't 20 minutes long like the last one, trust me on that. So arms need to be nice and tight, and we'll watch an example of a different player shortly. They do create power, and there is good side to side movement in power creation, which is fantastic. We just got to get them under control. That's all. So see it again, how wide that is. So this is what we want to see. This is doing the right thing, but this should not be that far to the side of you. This is just time. This is wasted time and effort for this arm to move that much. It's not doing anything. It's not creating any extra power at all. And actually, you can see how your arms are kind of swinging side to side, here to here to here. There's no like drive in the plane of movement. And what I mean by that, you'll see in a little bit. But actually, that one's not bad. I take back what I just said. But yeah, get those arms under control. You'll see another player shortly. Right here. So watch his arms. They're really nice and compact, and watch how fast he can move those arms and create drive and power side to side. That's what we want to see. That running stance. This is actually a little too compact for him. I'd like to see him loosen up, but he has a naturally tight stride. He always has. His goal has always been to like get bigger. His problem is the opposite of you. He's too tight. He's not long enough and smooth enough. And so, but that's an example of kind of the arms you want to create. A runner's arm here and here. And we talked about this before, how you want to be. If this is your glide plane, you want a 90-degree bend in your elbow, and you want your arms moving at a 45-degree angle to your glide plane. That means on from here back to here, then back to here, 45 degrees. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's your arms. So let's start talking about the lower body. And so the biggest thing that I'm seeing is your stride is plenty long. So you can see, let's think it even better. Right after you stride, one of the things you know that I talk about is this house. You want to have a house of stance. Everything should be built off of this athletic stance, right? So with that in mind, here's your athletic stance here. On this leg, notice how it goes down and then out, right? So it's bent the opposite direction. I want to see this knee here, and I want to see this angle like that. How do we do that? There it is. Boom. You have it until you stride. As soon as you stride, your knee starts your recovery. Okay. So we want to see, and you want to develop a habit so that when you push, this knee stays put. And the only thing you recover is from your knee to your foot. The rest of this whole area barely has to move. And we'll watch that other skater shortly, and I'll show you an example of it. But focus on your issue is from your hips to your kneecaps and that recovery. And you're going to notice it's the best way I can describe this is your kneecaps kind of facing that way right now. It's not facing down. Watch how your whole leg rotates and your kneecap. Uh-oh. There. So your kneecap faces straight down. So your knee comes underneath your body. Now you have kind of a house and one straight line, not this. We always want to come back to this powerful stance, not a straight line down your leg. All right. That's where all of your issues coming from. Because, oh, there it is again. Wow. So you eventually get there, but it's the intermediary step that's taking tons of time. All right. So to go over that again, this is fantastic. It's the recovery that's taking so long, and it's taking long because if you watch as soon as this kicks off and you push, watch your leg rotate this direction rotationally. Okay, it's going to rotate everything that way. Right there. What should happen is when you push off, this knee should pretty much stay put from your hips to your kneecap. And then, so from here, you push. This should stay here. This foot and this leg should just snap back underneath you. It shouldn't be extended out and being sucked back in. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. You can see how it turns in under. Turns and then comes back under. You're moving a massive amount of stuff. You're moving your whole leg for your recovery. That's super hard and you don't need to do it. You only need to move the bottom half of your leg. And so it comes from keeping that nice base from your hips to your knees. It should be a nice gap in between your knees. It's just like a power stance of like squats or anything. And so I'll show you an example of it right there. See how close these are? These should be nice and wide because this leg recovered too far. It's so close to being just phenomenal. Right there. You can see how it's there, and then it goes back. And then up. It's so close. But just to show you from the forward stance, watch your left leg. After you stride off your left leg, snap right there. This freeze framed, pretty darn good. Arms are screwed up, but the stride's really good. So as soon as you snap, watch how your knee is moving on this plane down the ice. So like you're moving that direction and your knee's here. This is where you're creating power from in your leg, is in this stance with your knee and your hips here, kind of in that house position. If your knee's directly underneath you, you can't create power, but you're recovering your knee back underneath your body anyway. Okay, so you're moving from here to here, all this weight from, whoops, way out here, and now you're choosing to move all of this back underneath you. Then you're gliding on it, and then watch this. You create power. Oh, geez, I did this the last time I recorded it. You don't start creating power until, so there it is. Like again, your knee moved from out here when you pushed off all the way back underneath your body. This much movement of your whole leg. And you don't create power until your knee's back out beside you. So here's that house position. You create power once your knee's back out. So all that effort to get your leg back underneath you did nothing other than waste your time and energy and efficiency. So try to keep those knees out. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so that's the root issue with your stride not being as quick as you want. Power will come later once we get the proper form in place. So watch this guy, watch his knees, and watch how, like, he's going to push off here. Look how they come right back. That's it. So there's his push. There's his recovery. I mean, come on. It's fantastic. And so you can see how powerful and how quickly he can create those strides. So this is the exact same thing that Connor McDavid does, like this exact same movement. And it starts from having a nice wide base in your knees. Okay. Right there. That's what you want to see. So those are the habits you want. Number one, your arms. Number two, your knees nice and wide. How do you create that? I screwed up and I didn't put the drill video on here. If you need it, let me know. But it's the drill that I know you've done this before. You're going to put your stick across you here. Your hands are going to be palms up, holding your stick right in front of your eyeballs. And then you're going to push off. And after you're done pushing, you're going to drag your toe until you stop gliding on this leg and dragging the toe. Then you're going to touch the bottom of your skate blade to this boot when you're stopped, and then you're going to push and you're going to go to the other side. So you stop, touch your toe to your boot, then push, then go. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, ask me. I'll send you the video. My best advice, video yourself doing that video and get that drill perfect. Then we can move it into your stride. All right, dude. Hopefully that makes sense. Any questions, hit me up. Hopefully that was helpful. We'll talk to you soon.